Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here. I am United States Attorney Tara McGrath. Today I am joined by Chris Davis, Acting Special Agent in Charge for Homeland Security Investigations in San Diego, Imperial County District Attorney George Marquez, Brawley Police Chief Jimmy Duran, and U.S. Border Patrol Chief of the El Centro Sector Gregory Bovino. I'm also joined by Assistant United States Attorneys Kevin Mokhtari and Shauna Pruitt. We are here to announce the results of a long-term investigation that has unraveled an elaborate web of drug traffickers in the Imperial Valley. This investigation started in 2019 with a single drug seizure at the border. Since then, we have developed leads and evidence, conducted hours of wiretaps and undercover work, and made a number of arrests. Today, the case reached a crescendo as we unsealed indictments against more than 40 members of a fentanyl and methamphetamine trafficking network, charging narcotics, money laundering, and gun offenses. During the course of this investigation, authorities have confiscated more than 4 kilograms of fentanyl, which amounts to about 2 million potentially lethal doses, over 324 kilograms, which is more than 700 pounds of methamphetamine, significant quantities of cocaine and heroin, and 52 firearms, including ghost guns and various firearm parts. In addition, this investigation resulted in the arrest of Alexander Grindley for trafficking methamphetamine while employed as a U.S. Border Patrol agent. This investigation also produced multiple spin-off investigations in this district and others. Today's massive takedown involved more than 400 local, state, and federal law enforcement officers and agents. This enormous contingent fanned out across the Imperial Valley earlier today, making 36 arrests and serving 25 court-authorized search warrants. As of this afternoon, the search continues for 11 fugitives. According to the 14 indictments and details outlined in the search warrants, the defendants belonged to various drug trafficking organizations that were part of an extensive network supplying areas throughout Imperial County and beyond. As a border district, our prosecutors handle hundreds of drug investigations and prosecutions every year. But today's takedown is unique. Because of the criminal activity alleged in these indictments, which has had an impact across the valley for years. Many of the people charged in these cases have prior arrests and convictions on state and federal drug charges, suppliers who have been distributing in our communities for far too long. Today, we brought down the federal hammer. In 2020, the U.S. Attorney at the time held a press conference here in El Centro. That press conference was about federal charges against a dealer who distributed a fatal dose of fentanyl to a Central Union high school football player. Since that high school student's death, our office has not only convicted that dealer and many more like him, but we have continued to track down fentanyl distributors. We have meticulously dismantled drug networks and disrupted supply chains. Today's coordinated effort is yet another example of what federal and local law enforcement and the Department of Justice are doing to tackle the illicit drug trade, and more specifically, the fentanyl crisis. Still, fentanyl remains a pervasive, deadly menace, and it is dangerously cheap. Just last month, an undercover agent in this investigation was able to buy approximately 8,000 fentanyl pills from one of these defendants for just 45 cents per pill, meaning a lethal dose of fentanyl costs less than a bag of chips or a pack of gum. And that's why we can't stop at the dealers, and that's why we're going after the trafficking networks and the suppliers. We are pursuing every possible angle to combat the reach of fentanyl and other drugs into Imperial County and beyond. Yet there's still work to be done. We are bringing these drug traffickers to justice. But until we put a stop to the demand, the supply will find a way. So if you're a parent and you are terrified by the price of fentanyl, talk to your kids about drug use. If you're an addict and your dealer was arrested today, seek help. And if you're a dealer and your supplier was arrested today, we are coming for you next. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my pleasure to introduce the head of Homeland Security investigations in our district, Chris Davis. Chris?
Thank you, U.S. Attorney McGrath. Good afternoon. My name is Chris Davis, and I am the Acting Special Agent in charge for Homeland Security investigations in San Diego. First, let me allay any concerns. There is no danger to the public. HSI and our partner agencies are diligently working together to ensure operational disruptions are kept to a minimum. Homeland Security Investigations, or HSI, investigates crime on a global scale, at home, abroad, and online. HSI conducts federal criminal investigations into the illegal movement of people, goods, money, contraband, weapons, and sensitive technology into, out of, and through the United States. Partnerships with law enforcement counterparts and our local communities are key to HSI's success. In that spirit, I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge our law enforcement partners. Today's operation involved over 400 law enforcement personnel from 24 federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. While each have been key to this operation, I need to highlight several local agencies whose assistance was instrumental to our overall success. It is their communities that were negatively impacted by the criminal organization we targeted today. Specifically, the Brawley Police Department, the El Centro Police Department, the Imperial County Sheriff's Office, and the Imperial County District Attorney's Office. I'd also be remiss if I did not mention the Imperial Valley Law Enforcement Coordination Center for their support and hosting today's event. To each of you, thank you. This investigation was initiated in December of 2019. HSI special agents became aware of the drug smuggling activities of an Imperial Valley-based drug trafficking organization, following a seizure of methamphetamine and heroin in Brawley, California. Using this seizure as a starting point and through various investigative techniques, HSI agents identified in part a transnational drug trafficking network consisting of load drivers, coordinators, and stash house operators using multiple locations. This drug trafficking organization is responsible for smuggling and distributing multi-kilogram quantities of methamphetamine, heroin, marijuana, oxycodone, and fentanyl pills from Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico, into the United States via the Calexico, California ports of entry. Once the drugs were smuggled into the United States, the organization developed a compartmentalized network of co-conspirators to transport the drugs from El Centro, California, to distributors throughout the country. Based on investigative efforts to date, it is believed this drug trafficking organization is operating in conjunction and are being supplied by the Sinaloa cartel. Today's events are a combined team effort in the name of public safety, and the enforcement activities throughout the county will have a positive impact on the community. The alleged conspirators have been arrested and taken off the streets, and they will be held accountable in a court of law. HSI has a lot of evidence to review and more interviews to conduct in furtherance of this investigation. So let me reiterate, HSI and our partner agencies stand here committed to public safety with a focused effort to remove harmful narcotics from Calexico and the surrounding communities. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you to HSI. Now I'd like to introduce the District Attorney for Imperial County, George Marquez.
Thank you, Tara. On behalf of the Imperial County District Attorney's Office, I'd like to thank United States Attorney's Office, United States Border Patrol, Homeland Security Investigations, and the Brawley Police Department for the tremendous efforts they put forth to make this operation a success. This operation illustrates what can be accomplished when there is collaboration between federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies. Our office assigned a full-time investigator as well as a number of on-call prosecutors to write and review warrants and provide prosecutorial guidance to the investigations as they evolved. The Imperial County District Attorney's Office is continually dedicated and committed to working together with all our law enforcement partners to bring justice to those that harm others or those who pose dangers to our communities. Thank you.
Now, the United States Border Patrol Chief for El Centro Sector, Gregory Bovino.
Thank you, Tara. Good afternoon. Again, my name is Greg Bovino. I'm the Chief Patrol Agent here at the El Centro Border Patrol Sector, and it's my pleasure to be here today. Border Patrol assisted Homeland Security investigations, the U.S. Attorney's Office, and allied law enforcement agencies in today's operation. Border Patrol support consisted primarily of warrant service at 3 different locations, as well as detention and transport of subjects. More specifically, Border Patrol contributed approximately 80 agents to this operation. Special operations detachments from the El Centro sector, the Yuma sector, as well as the San Diego sector were utilized. That included elements of BORTAC, which is the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, BORSTAR, which is the Border Patrol Search, Trauma, and Rescue Team, as well as mobile response teams. Additionally, agents from our canine units, intelligence units, detention and transport units, and other units were utilized today. And I would like to commend the excellent planning and coordination of all agencies present today. Fantastic operation, well done. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Finally, I will introduce the Chief of Brawley Police, Jimmy Duran. After Chief Duran's statement, we will take questions. Chief?
Good afternoon. I want to take a moment to highlight the incredible power of interagency collaboration in our county. This collaboration is evident in the successful conclusion of this long-term investigation, which began with a routine traffic stop in the city of Brawley. This investigation success is a testament to the trust of the investigating agents placed on our patrol officers, who truly followed every lead that was given to them. This kind of teamwork and mutual support is what makes our law enforcement efforts in our county so effective and successful. The positive effects of this successful investigation will be felt throughout our city and throughout Imperial County. There's no doubt about that. By taking dangerous drugs off the streets and disrupting illegal activities, we make our community safer for all residents. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all law enforcement officers and professional staff involved, because it truly took a lot of effort, work, and dedication. Your dedication and hard work has been instrumental in bringing this investigation to a successful close. This partnership could not have been achieved without each and every one of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. As I mentioned at the outset, the 2 federal prosecutors who worked this case, worked these investigations that led up to these indictments, are here with us. They are 2 of our finest, Kevin Mokhtari and Shauna Pruitt, who are also available for questions. With that, does anyone have any questions for us? Yes, sir.
Could you speak more about the involvement of Alexander Grinley and just details about the arrest?
About his arrest or the underlying charges?
And the underlying charges, yes.
Kevin, will you take that?
Sure.
Good afternoon, Kevin Mokhtari, Assistant United States Attorney. Mr. Grinley, as outlined in public documents, was intercepted over a federal wiretap. He was initially unidentified, so he was an individual that was communicating with an individual that we were targeting during the wiretap. As the wiretap progressed, he was obtaining approximately every 2 weeks regular amounts of methamphetamine, ounce quantities, from the target of the investigation. And we then identified that he was possibly federal law enforcement. Through additional investigative techniques, we identified him as the user of the phone and ultimately executed a search warrant at his residence, as we did again today to arrest him. And during that search, found indicia of sales, including a scale, small baggies of methamphetamine, and we actually seized methamphetamine as well. His charges specifically are possession with intent to distribute methamphetamine. He's charged separately from the overall conspiracy.
He was also terminated almost immediately from employment with Border Patrol, and certainly his conduct is in no way reflective of the extraordinary and honorable people who wear the green uniform and protect our borders. Any other questions? Well, okay, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time, and we are certainly available for follow-up interviews, and thank you for being here, and thank all of you as well. Have a good day.